When you ask a bank for a line of credit, they're going to ask you, how much do you want? How much do you want on that line of credit? And you don't answer that question. Have you ever heard the saying, he who speaks first loses? This is super important when it comes to negotiating with banks on a line of credit. It could apply to other things, but we're talking about a line of credit. When you ask a bank for a line of credit, okay, there's one thing that's really, really important. They're going to ask you, how much do you want? How much do you want on that line of credit? And you don't answer that question. So I did another video. I'm going to put the link up. I want you to reference on what the difference is between a line of credit and a loan. But today, when you talk with a bank, you're going to ask them this. Well, I'd like to know what is the maximum that your underwriter has approved on this program for a line of credit. Those words, I want to know what the maximum is that your underwriters can approve on this program for this line of credit. When you ask the bank that question, or the person that you're speaking with, they now are going to have to tell you what is the max that they can loan out. That doesn't mean that you're asking for the max. That doesn't mean they're going to approve you for the max. That doesn't mean any of that. All you want to know is what is the max that they can give to any person on that line of credit program. When you ask that question, it's super important that you listen to what they say. And I'll give you an example. The other day, I was speaking with a bank, and the bank tells me, I asked for a line of credit, and the bank tells me, okay, how much do you want, Mike? And I said, well, how much can I get? And they said, well, how much do you want? It sounds like you're asking for a lot. And I said, well, I'd like to know how much I can get. I'd like to know what the maximum is. And we went back and forth, back and forth. Long story short, I didn't tell him how much I wanted, and finally I got to hear what the maximum was that their program offered, and then I said, I want the maximum. And then he said, well, I don't know that we can give you the maximum. They said, okay, no problem, but that's what I would like to apply for. Apply for the maximum, always. And from there, let the bank come back and say, you know what, we can't approve you for this max, but we can approve you for this max. This is really important, guys, really important, because if you go in and you speak first and you say, well, I would like $25,000 on a line of credit, or $50,000 on a line of credit, or $100,000 on a line of credit. Let's say that the maximum that particular program can give is $100,000 on that line of credit. If you speak first and say, I want $25,000, then they're now going to work off of that number. Okay, and then when they say, oh, you know what, we couldn't approve you for $25,000, but we can approve you for $15,000, you're like, okay, well, it was close to the 25. If you apply for $100,000 and they approve you for $80,000 or $50,000, okay, you let them speak first. So you want more options, and that's the number one golden rule when you're applying for a line of credit. Let the bank, he who speaks first loses in this situation. You got to have your tax returns in order. You got to have easy access to them. They're going to ask for that. They're going to want to know what your income is. They're going to want to, if it's a line of credit for a business, it's going to be slightly different. They're going to want business returns, other things. But on a personal, you can go to a credit union. You can go to your bank and you can ask them, I'd like to take out a personal line of credit, and I'd like to know what the maximum is that your underwriter can approve for this line of credit program. They're going to be very shocked that you know those words, the word underwriter, which, by the way, the underwriter is the person who underwrites. The underwriter is the person who looks at the application and says, you know what, Mike, you're applying for $100,000, but you don't qualify for $100,000. Okay. That person that is looking at that application or team of people, that's the underwriter. So what's the max that person can sign off on and approve on? That's what you want to know. Now, what you're going to use it for and all that is really important, because they're going to ask you that. Today, I want to focus on applying for the maximum and how to do so. And when they ask you what it's used for, you have to list the good reasons why you would need that $100,000, for example. You have to list good reasons. You can't just say, oh, well, I just want it for. So have in order why you actually would need that on a personal line of credit. Are you remodeling your home? Are you fixing something? What is it you're going to use it for? Because a bank is going to want to know. They won't just lend it to you. Now, An unsecured line of credit is one that is not tied to any collateral, to any property or anything else. So those are the ones that are a little bit more tricky because the bank is really just trusting that you're going to pay that back. And when it comes to a line of credit, a personal line of credit, those are a couple techniques, but the golden rule again is listen and ask. Quick shout out to all my subscribers, everyone hitting a like button, everybody leaving a comment, everyone sharing. Really appreciate you guys. The community continues to grow, and each smash of that like button gives me more fuel, motivation to give you guys more value, more content. I appreciate you all. We'll see you guys soon. Stay tuned.